Welcome everyone to another episode of Starseed Activations. Welcome, Mary. Thank you so incredibly much for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me, of course.
Yes, it's always a blessing and an honor to have you here. So, just really quick, guys, we are all going to start with an Om. Now, an Om opens and expands your heart chakra, allowing each of us to feel unconditional love. When we Om, it allows all of us to collectively raise our frequency and allow for a cleaner channeling session to take place. So, we, dear ones, are ever so gently stepping forward. We wish for each of you to take a deep breath in. And one more deep breath in. Thank you for this channeling session, dear ones. Excellent.
I have a few things from your book. That the first one is from The Keys to My Ascension. It's the new one that you're doing, and it is on page 98, and it's called Star Crossed and
Okay.
Spirit Guides. Star Crossed and Spirit Guides. And I'm going to read, oops, from it.
There's no volume.
Left. Oh, no, here it is. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Starcrossed and Spirit Guides. There is a process of soul light blending during the reincarnation process, which allows two souls to incarnate into one body vessel for one entire life expression. This is known as star-crossed soul expression and generates a very special type of 0 point energetic signature. This star-crossed soul expression allows for the parental imprints of both higher self to blend down into the similar vessel. This allows for both the higher self soul forms to be rapidly transmute traumatic imprints in one life expansion. This is beneficial on a soul level in order to witness from an angle of another soul experience.
Yes. So when the star crossed the soul expressions, now what this is it's two higher selves. So let's take for an example, one higher self is very spiritually advanced, and the secondary higher self is maybe not as old of a soul. What they'll do is they will energetically blend together, creating a singular light stream tubule, which then radiates downwards as the DNA spiral. And that DNA spiral, it manifests into your physical reality. This is known as a center soul tubule or a center kundalini channel, dear ones. Now, this is important because some individuals on your planet are born with two different eye colors. This is an indication of two separate soul forms blending at the higher self levels. When interacting with such an individual, you are then able to directly communicate with both higher selves at one time. This allows the younger soul form to learn from the older soul form's perspective. For the older soul form may then change or modify any current emotional resonances that the younger soul form is learning from. This allows for a very rapid transmutation. And it allows the younger soul form to evolve at exponential rates. Beautiful. Thank you, star people.
Thank you, Star People.
Thank you. Yeah. So,
Anybody have any
okay,
questions?
we'll break that one down a little bit. So, basically, imagine two higher selves energetically bonding and spiraling together. They drop down into one body form. Now, that one body form is technically two soul forms. So, the more advanced soul is going to step forward and going to help the younger soul on their evolutionary path. However, even the older soul may come back to do this type of process so that they may learn different things from another individual's perspective, because the younger soul form is generating a different emotion grid, which interlocks and blends together because the souls are now energetically blended as one or bonded as one. And it allows for a different type of personality to be held in the physical form. Now, this is it's like high value, because some of the ascended masters who required a way to drop into the physical reality, see, from a higher self perspective, you had to drop into darkness. This is just the way the light soul works. The soul pulls itself down and it splashes into like, we're going to call it a puddle, but it's more like dark matter. It has to splash into dark matter, which generates a light matter energetic grid surrounded by a dark matter Merkaba. It's an energy grid. It's dark matter though. So the darkness always surrounds the light. So that light soul form, the second that energetic grid is formed, that is the moment of physical conception as we see it on this planet. When conception takes place, there is a spark of light. That spark of light is the binary codex frequency of the being, which is us. But that spark of light is contained within dark matter. Now, every single thing that you see in the physical reality, we see the light matter. So when we take a look at any item, we are seeing light matter. However, it's surrounded by darkness because we are not seeing the space in between the space. That's dark matter. It's here. We have technology on Earth that can see it and perceive it, and we can start to work with it. So when we start to work with it, this is how we can birth new planets, because dark matter, it holds the keys to everything. All light must exist within darkness. But this is why all of us are children of light. We are not to fear the darkness because we are the candles that shun the darkness away. And the more and more we start to realize just how powerful that light is, it allows us to expand that light. And the more we expand and grow that light, it then shifts the world among worlds expressions. Now, what that means is it's a multiverse in a holographic simulation. That's how the physics shows us. The world among worlds means that our eyes, there's hold on 1 second. We're just going to do a quick Om to recalibrate the throat chakra of everybody watching. Deep breath in. Om. Release. Beautiful, dear ones. Okay, excellent. Okay. What were we talking about? Oh, the light form of the dark matter.
Yeah.
Okay. All life is birthed in darkness, which is very, very important to know, because when we close our eyes, we are actually in darkness. The brain is encased within darkness. That darkness contains light. Your brain waves are electrical in their nature. Electricity is light. It is a voltage. It is a type of spark of life. Now, when we take dark matter, and let's just say that we're using imagination, when we see and we visualize, we know that we can manifest anything we put our mind to. That's how dark matter works. So when we are here and we are creating from the heart instead of creating from the mind only, when you use the heart, it accesses the higher self and it creates through love. When you're accessing the mind, your fears can sneak up and manifest that way. So like one of my go-to manifestation or affirmation is thank you for manifesting my heart's truest desires. And I found that whatever it is that I'm manifesting, the heart's going to guide it and it's always going to be in alignment for me. So that's like a really good one to do.
My go-to affirmation is I'm connected to source energy and the angelic realm. That's the
Yeah.
one that I say all the time.
Yes, that's a good one too. I like to call the angels in sometimes when doing attachment release sessions with people, right? Because we know they're high frequency, they're filled with
Yeah.
love and blessings, love and light. I personally have had experiences sleeping in people's houses, and they are churchgoers, so they go to the church, and their house is very clean energetically. Now, what the star people have told me, for a personal friend who was having voices in the mind that were not of love and of light, they told them go pick a church and just sit there. You don't have to, like engage in the material that they're teaching. Just sit in a church and just feel the energy and allow the energy to clear any attachments out of your mind, your thought grids. So it's very interesting. So when we do start to do things like calling the angels, I've had another experience where I had called the angels in while doing an attachment release session, and I thanked them for surrounding me and protecting me. Later on that evening, the star people, well, my star man, he told me, he was like, you never release the angels. And I was like, what do you mean release the angels or discharge the angels? He's like, they're still here. You have to tell them thank you. You can go now. And I was like, really? That's like a thing? He's like, yeah. So now I know we have to thank them for their service and tell them it's okay for them to go and help and to watch and to guide other people.
Then
That's
they
it's a
must be
real,
around me all the time because I don't
yeah.
really.
Well, I used to do manifestations while I'm driving in the car. Thank you, angels, for protecting that car. I still do these things. And, thank you for protecting this person. But you never realize just the power of thanking an angel for protecting a person, what that actually does behind the scenes of that person's energy field. Because if that person was going to manifest something, uncomfortable, there's a very high potential that the angel is like, okay, we're allowed to remove this from your path. And that's because other people prayed for you. Now, there's other cultures on this planet that their loved ones that have passed away, they still make it a daily ritual to pray for them, to send them love and to send them blessings. Now, the star people, my star man, as I was driving home one night from New York to Pennsylvania, so it's a 2.5 hour drive, he had me facilitate an attachment removal on one of my family members who had crossed over. And that family member was holding on to darkness. And it was like the second I lifted it all off of that individual, they were like, okay, that individual is clean now. So now just know in your heart that in the next reincarnation, that person is able to reincarnate more into a clean energetic. So the attachments imprint the soul form, and the soul form, it's like having a black mark on the soul. This is allowed because it's a reincarnation black mark. It doesn't mean that the soul's actually damaged. It just means, hey, you have a life lesson that you have to learn. And we're going to leave that right there so that when you manifest into the next body, it's going to show up in like a birthmark or a magnetic alignment, which then is going to draw this particular type of attachment to you. Now, the attachments, it's like they can sense when you are holding an emotion code. It's not even 5 minutes. The second that we open the door, it's like they can see and they can sense and they find you. And in the beginning of my journey, I always was under the impression that we had to walk into the civilization to receive an attachment, or that, the attachments they jump from person to person. That's okay too. But the truth is, the second we open the door, they sense it and then they come for us. And it doesn't matter where you are, you can't hide from this. It's all controlled by the emotions. So the second that, and this is where our free will comes into play, the second that we know we triggered a lower frequency emotion, it's up to us. Oh, okay, I triggered it. That's okay. That's part of the human experience. It's okay for me to trigger this emotion. It's part of being human. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to forgive myself. So I forgive myself for the emotion code, whatever the emotion code you just triggered. And then you say the word release, so that if there is an attachment latched onto you due to that emotion, it has to release from your field. Now, Some of the trickier ones are the ones that have these ridiculous names, right? And some of them are experiential attachments, which are like roll out of bed and stub your toe. That whole sentence, that's the attachment's name. So anytime we see, and then we speak the word release to release it. Anytime we see that we are going through an experience over and over and over again, that experience 100% of the time has an attachment onto it because this is the way they work. They're actually messengers. This is what the star people call them. They don't really refer to them as attachments. The attachments, we use that word because they're the darker scale, but all of them attach to us. They're messengers of the source frequency. So each and every one of us is a tiny little fractal of the source frequency net. These beings, whether they be angels or attachments, they are here to help us to manifest. That is their job. That is their purpose. Now, when they are helping us, what they do is we trigger an emotion, a messenger latches onto us. Say it's the emotion of joy. When that messenger latches onto us, it is triggering more joy into our system so that we manifest more joy. And then we have what is known as the law of polarity. Now, what the star people say about the law of polarity is very simple. If you are experiencing sadness, you have to experience happiness. So there's actually a new way to release attachments. So when you have the attachment of sadness, you can actually say, I am happy. And many times, if you have that exact attachment of sadness, it will discharge off of you because now you are calling forward the angel of happiness. That is fantastic that now we're aware that that's how it works. That is not how they train me to release the dark ones off of people because they have very intricate names. And what is the opposite polarity of rolling out of bed and stubbing your toe? It is springing out of bed and having the best day ever. So it's like we have to figure out what is the opposite polarity to the attachment that you currently are holding. It gets tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like if you're sick, you tell yourself you're healed already.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And this mind over matter. Whatever you speak, it manifests into your waking world. The cleaner your energy grids are, the more rapidly your manifestations are. So we just truly are grateful and thankful and blessed that each one of us has guides watching over us so that our manifestations, when we do start to touch into 4D and 5D frequencies, where it's kind of like the safety is on so that you know you're not just going to spring a Godzilla into the reality. It takes a little bit of time through time and space. That's what time and space is. It's a safety net. So the happier you are, the faster it goes. That's the safety net. The sadder you are, the slower it goes.
Yeah.
Safety net. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The next one is the empath projector.
Okay.
Let me read a little bit from that.
Thank you.
It's real small, but
Is it small? Is it from the new book or the
I
old?
got it. I got it. No, it's the new book, and it's page 142.
Okay.
I got it bigger. An
Okay.
empath. An empath is an individual who can feel or sense other people's emotional state. An emotional projector is an individual who can control the emotional state of the secondary individuals by broadcasting their own independent emotional frequency outwards. Emotional resonance is a magnet field which individual cast outward from within the heart chakra. By controlling your own internal state, you are able to generate a type of energetic signature in your own bio and electrical fields, which shall then resonate into all people, plants, and items around you.
Yes. That is a blessing. Now, many times when we see people who, let's say there's a room full of people and someone really toxic walks in, we feel it right away. And immediately everybody gets like the heebie jeebies or uncomfortable release. And this could be done in the exact opposite. So when we step into the heart and we hold and expand unconditional love, now, many times authenticity is a higher frequency than love, even. So when we're authentic, we're naturally radiating these bliss codes. So the more authenticity, and like authenticity is very, you're following your highest passion. And automatically, the second that you follow your highest passion, it lights you up. Now, that's known as shedding on this planet. We shen, our light shines. When we do that and we walk into a room and we're very bright, people usually say, "Oh, you're glowing," or "Oh, she's very excited," right? Now, but that energy that you start to resonate, it puts the right people at the right place in alignment with you so that you can have more experiences of that frequency. Anybody who's not in alignment, they'll just not be at the right place at the right time. So they won't even see you. This is also how the shift into 5D takes place. So the people who are in alignment to receive you, you synchronistically come across them. And then the people who are not in alignment, they just disappear from your reality. It seems as if they had faded into the background, but in reality, your alignments shift into higher frequencies. Now, this is very important because when we start to recognize, oh, okay, so I can take my energy and I can purposely broadcast it outwards. So I started doing manifestations into my energy field, and my manifestations were, thank you, energetic grids, for healing all people who step foot or who are in my energy field. So if I made your awareness, if you're watching me online, you're a part of that energetic grid, because we all energetically bond with each other. And the second that we start talking to each other, it's already forming a form of blending in the chords. And these chords contain different magnetics, which then, dear ones, start the process of manifestation. Each individual here is hooked to a consciousness grid. This consciousness grid is what allows for this energetic blending to take place. This is of high value because the star people are observing the collective imprint from each of your thought grids. This then allows for the most aligned information to fully form from this channeler, which is any and all information regarding activation of extrasensory abilities. For dear ones, there are many different subsystems in your biological form as well as your ethereal form. This includes a type of DNA subsystem. This is known as a crystalline DNA, which is ethereal in its nature. This crystalline DNA is a reflection of your physical DNA strands, which also include 12 strands. Some of the strands in the physical form are not yet readily available to perceive. However, dear ones, a fully activated fifth density being includes a 12-strand DNA subsystem. This then allows different extrasensory abilities to fully form, which is why the DNA is not complete just yet in its helix. The reason the DNA is so important is because epigenetics allows for a mutation of your DNA. Your DNA is ever shifting. Your mind controls the process of DNA to a degree in which you are able to co-create the cell's formation. There is a process of shifting back. This back shift allows your awareness to pull back from within your simulation. This then allows your consciousness full control over all hormones that are released from your mind, as well as any cells which need reprogramming are able to be facilitated through the control center. The control center of the thoughts is located in the mind and controls any and all biological functions. There is another control center of a sort in your heart. We call this simply the 0 point. The 0 point allows access above time and space. This is of high value because, dear ones, each individual here is also triggering micro emotions. A micro emotion may be perceived when you slow time and space. There are small emotions that each individual trigger without a conscious awareness. The ability to go into the 0 point inside the heart and slow the perception of time and space allows for these micro emotions to come into your awareness. This then may start the process of tracing each micro emotion to the original source imprint. These imprints are always traumatic imprinted codes. These codes may be perceived as a broken strand of DNA, dear ones. And when that broken DNA is healed, it then changes the micro emotions each individual is holding. Thank you. Thank you, Star People.
Thank you, Star People.
Yes. Hey, I have to move this phone to see that. Yes, you absolutely should.
Okay. Now.
Yeah, now's the time, the goodest time is ever.
Okay, I wanted to tell everyone that
Well,
what's been happening.
we had a comment too. Connie said right here, last week after the live with Danielle, she saw 3 lights in the sky flying in a triangle formation. She was wondering if it was a Star People. So now tell us your experience.
Okay, yesterday I was going outside to meditate because that's what I do. I go outside. And before I meditated, I looked to my my left and I saw a cloud. Well, there was no other clouds in the sky. So I'm like, okay, that's one cloud. And I always say I love you to the clouds because I know they're in the clouds. And it kept going, and I'm like, oh, let me get a picture before they leave because there was no other clouds. Because when one cloud comes, they stay for a little while and then they just poof out. So
Yeah.
I wanted the picture because I like to look at them when I go to sleep at night because I can see them in my pictures at night when it's dark.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I went to get my camera, and I couldn't really get a good picture because it was behind a tree line. So they were leaving, and I'm like, oh, I said in my head, oh, please don't leave.
Yeah.
And it came in my head that they said, we'll be back. We're your family.
Yes.
So then I was like, what?
Isn't it amazing? Yeah.
I was just sitting there for a while. And then after that, I went into meditation, deep meditation outside. I called in the Christ light and I called in Mother Earth's crystalline core to meet in my heart and give out to the universe and to the star people, to everybody, because that's what I do. And when I was done, it was probably like 20 to 30 minutes that I was in meditation. And when I opened my eyes, a cloud was right there and it started coming towards me. And it was getting really low and close. Yeah. And I asked them, I said, is this my gift? I can see you. Is this my gift? And they said, this is your gift. Yeah. You can see us and we are here. And I took a video of them, of the cloud, because this is the second cloud that has come to me. I don't know if some people might know that this is the second cloud that has come to me. Yeah. The first time that when the cloud came to me, they sent 2 UFOs behind the cloud to let me know that they were there. And then now this one did the same thing, but it was one UFO that came across. I have the pictures and I have the videos on my YouTube channel if y'all want to go look at it.
So cool.
But actually,
how did it make you feel to know that you had communication with the star people?
It made me feel like I was meant for something and that I am somebody now, and it just made me feel great.
Yes. Well, you know, in my reality, you are always meant for something. Yeah. And that goes for every single person watching. We're all of us are meant for something. And what that is your highest passion. That is what you are meant for. That is your purpose. And it does not matter if your highest passion is the good, the bad, the ugly. If it makes you really excited, that is what your purpose is, right? And there's so many times with, you know, people who work jobs and they have to go and they have to do things and they have to make money. And, you know, that highest, it's like the starving artist theme that we've seen on the planet. It was like, you have to put that in the closet and get a real job. But now we're starting to see a complete shift in the entire civilization, which is totally a blessing, because we're seeing the artists take their work and broadcast it on social media. And now they're starting to pull in incomes, which is allowing you take a look at where the civilization is going. It's allowing all of our stuff to be beautiful. Now, in the ancient civilizations, all of their stuff was beautiful. And why was that? That's because the people came together and we supported one another. And that's because everyone followed their highest passion back then. The more we're able to do these types of things, the more we're able to be authentic. And being authentic, it manifests that high frequency higher than love. So, Mary, you have to figure out what makes you really happy and follow that wholeheartedly. 100%. Yeah.
I've been seeing the ships all day though, to today.
That's
And
beautiful.
two other UFOs yesterday. I got two separate videos of two other just UFOs passing.
That's so amazing. I'm like so happy that you got it on video. Like, that's amazing. I have not seen the videos yet, so hopefully you send them to me.
I have been getting them on video. It's all on my YouTube channel. I have been getting them on video since probably last year.
Yeah, I definitely have to see.
It's crazy.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's
Because,
awesome.
we're looking at open contact in our lives. That's my personal belief. That's what I know is going to happen, because it just makes the most amount of sense. Right?
And it's going to happen for everybody in here. Everybody.
Yes, I believe that too. Okay, we had someone else say, I had a close encounter before. Can you see who they were? No. And that type of information, who they are, I would really dive inwards, because your memory, even if your memory got wiped, your memory still contains fragments of whatever experience that you had. Mary, can you say your YouTube channel name for the audience member?
Yeah, it's Mary JG 3916.
Perfect. So hopefully Empress of All Things is on TikTok, I believe. So say it one more time, Mary.
Mary JG 3916.
Beautiful. This way everyone could go see.
Yeah, because it's amazing.
Yes.
I even have the cloud on there from the beginning of the year in January, whenever I caught the first cloud coming to me. This is the second cloud that's come.
I've had an experience. Okay, they're saying it was the Grays. I don't like to answer questions like this. Rock
No.
Vision 222, but the star people they're pushing through on this one. You had an interaction with the Grays. That's who it was. But, dear one, there is also a soul connection there with the Grays. And you are going to be facilitating some type of downloads, which will help unpack further information into your current manifestation. This is of high value to you because they are supporting your evolutionary process, as well as some particular modality you are bringing to your reality. Thank you, Star People. Excellent.
Mine are angels.
Yes. Okay.
I have some angels that are up there as well.
Yeah, I believe that too. I believe we all have angels. I believe they're right here. I believe the angels are right here with us. They're just at a different frequency and they're helping us. And so we all can just, thank you, angels, for protecting all the people here. Thank you for helping each person manifest the smoothest, most rapid, most painless, most pleasurable ascension timeline possible, so that we can see world peace in our lifetime, so that we can see, the civilization at a level 1, which is free energy technology for all people, free healthcare, right? Everyone is healthy and happy, and the spiritual knowledge being activated and activating unity consciousness. When unity consciousness becomes activated, people are going to be able to walk. It's already happening now, walking around instantaneously manifesting items as they need it. In time, that's going to take over. It's like the dominoes are going to fall, and we're going to start to see everybody waking up to their extrasensory abilities, which is beautiful, because the second that we're fully aware, hey, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions can manifest this, and this instantaneously. So if you need electricity in your house, you could just snap your fingers and turn it on. It's like everything gets easier for us because we spend more time in that high frequency, and that high frequency, then it's the same thing like we were saying earlier. You're projecting it outwards. So what happens is, from a physical perspective, is we raise the density in our bodies, and it actually shifts our level of awareness into a parallel reality, or a parallel timeline expression is the same thing, which we co-create an experience of unity consciousness already being activated. It's a frequency inside of us. The way to get to that level is to release your density. Your density is what keeps you down in the lower frequency range. So it's kind of like holding the darker emotions and then walking through water, right? That's density because everything is a little bit slower. When we release all the traumatic imprints and traumatic codes that we are holding inside of our bodies, it allows us to feel much lighter. Now, there's a handful of free passes and tools that we can use to get there. That includes eating salads, blessing the food that we eat, because everyone knows when we eat the salads, we tend to feel a lot lighter. So do that. Just don't allow it to become an attachment. And when you judge something and say, oh, I can only eat, then that attachment has to be cleared. So alignments is truly key, because that's what the star people and I have been currently working on, is my alignments. So we have people who study kinesiology, which is like muscle testing inside of the body. Now, we can take any plant, any herb, any spice, or any item, and they can put it in a tiny little vial. They can put it on your body, and they can muscle test you to see, is this plant or item helping or harming the body? If it is harming the body, it means you are not in alignment with that item. So there's a couple things that we can do in order to generate that form of alignment. One, if we love something, we have to set it free. If it comes back to us, it was meant to be. That's the first thing that we can do. The second thing that we can do is we can send it love and blessings. The more we love and bless the food raises in frequency and it starts to heal us. But being aware how, and we do this scientifically in the beginning, until we are fully intuitively knowing, okay, I can eat this and it makes me stronger, then that means it's in alignment. But the alignments shift depending on how much you interact with it. So if you're doing the same exact thing every single day, it may potentially fall out of alignment. So, but it's people, places, and things as well. So sometimes we'll go to one park, and sometimes it's okay not to go. And then maybe you go to a gym, maybe you go to a different park. You keep things different. That's how 5D works. It's very spontaneous. It's manifest in the now moment. And it really is following your highest passion. So if your highest passion takes you to location A, you interact at location A. Then all of a sudden, your highest passion may take you to another location. You go there. Whenever we start to notice repeat patterns, how does that repeat pattern make you feel? Does it make you feel good, or just make you feel not good? That's what we do.
Yeah.
You had the sleep timer, Stacy? You're so funny. Okay.
Did you want to talk about us astral traveling in the astral plane at night? How most of us are out there doing work?
Sure. So that's a very interesting topic, because now there's a lot of individuals who are working with the star people directly, dear ones. We facilitate different classes at night while your biological form is sleeping. You may also come home and visit your star family. Many times you are unaware that this process is happening. It is during these types of meetings that you then agree to different imprints, which then become imprinted into the cellular levels through the process of dream walking. This dream walking ability is also a lucid ability in which you wake up during your dreams and you consciously create different alignments magnetically, which then facilitate a magnetic alignment in the physical body. This magnetic grid then allows for that manifestation to fully come into the awareness of you throughout your physical walking day. Now, this is of high value for each individual to realize because there are also many different types of abilities that take place in the astral realms. The astral realms are there specifically for each individual to learn from. For when you engage in the astral realm, it allows for any fears, any traumatic imprints to be walked through safely so that you may then manifest into the physical reality unharmed because you will have already you may already have the emotion codes to heal such traumatic imprints. We are ever so gently going to recalibrate the throat chakra once more. We wish for each of you to feel blue. And when you feel blue, we shall then Om, which shall recalibrate the entire channeling grid. Deep breath in. We are also recalibrating each individual's energetic grid complex, if allowed. Please say yes now if you wish for us to energetically clear your systems. We are sending a rainbow ray directly down the center soul tubules of each individual listening. This rainbow ray is directly connected to the source frequency net. Allow for unconditional love to wash over all of you. Allowing each individual here to step on their highest potential timelines. And allow for your hearts to open and expand the emotion of love. And we are sending many, many love and blessings, dear ones. Thank you. Thank you, star people, for healing my friends. Thank you.
I am here, but my camera is out for some reason.
Again?
I tried to bring it back on.
You did, I think it looks, it's paused, no?
No,
So fun. So much fun. Didn't have, I knew it was, look, and we were just in the throat chakra, Mary. Being able to see it is communication. That's the throat chakra. Yeah.
Did it happen last time or the time before that? I think it happened.
It did. It's okay. You look fantastic. Nice. Maybe we can make you tiny. I think we made you tiny. So it's
no,
okay.
you made yourself tiny.
Oh, I made myself tiny. Oh,
yeah.
Shoot. Goodness. Okay, hold on, guys. Let's see. Okay, you're like frozen on my screen. This is not the right way. There we go. Okay, we'll just make do what we have. It's fantastic.
So you can't see me at all?
Well, I can never see you. I put a bunch of phones in the way, so like TikTok and Instagram is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question to you. Will we have attachments in 5D?
Yes. So this is, but it's kind of like this, right? The second we look at the spiritual people on the planet right now. Now, what happens when we all hang out together, right? If you're running an attachment, right away, it triggers a behavior pattern. And the second you're around your friends, your family, and everyone's spiritually awake and aware, then we're going to see your behavior pattern. We're going to be like, ooh, that needs to be healed. And then your people are going to be like, okay, well, what's the original imprint? Now, I know that in my life, this is how I am with my friends. So it's like when something comes up, if something comes up, okay, wait a second. We have to stop what we're doing. We have to clear the attachment right away. We have a thing. We just say release. And it's like, well, we're going to release this one. And now, how does that make you feel? Can we dive in deep and can we unpack the emotions? And it's okay if we do this while we're driving. It doesn't really matter, right? How does it make you feel? Let's unpack it, release all the emotions. Okay. Now we wait because it takes like 3 days for the energetics to rebalance themselves. So when we pull the attachment off, your energy grids rebalance within 3 days. It'll either come back, and that means that there's something there that needs a deep diving, a deep cleaning, or a soul lesson from one of the 12 experiential points. So the source frequency lens is located above the crown chakra. What that looks like is two Merkaba. So two Merkaba fields. So there's a 12-pointed star. And each point on the star is one experiential. And an experiential is an experience with a wide range of emotions that needs to be cleared in order for you to evolve into 5D. Now, many times these points, we clear them in the past lives. So we don't have to clean all 12 experiences in this lifetime. However, the ones that come up for us. So if you have an experience that is coming again and again and again, cycle repeating, it's because that star field wants that experience to be cleaned. This way you can evolve into 5D safely. Now, when we clear all 12 experientials, the number 13 is the center of that 12-pointed Merkaba. It's actually two Merkabas. One is electric, one is magnetic, and they both interlock or rotate together. So it looks from this angle as 12-pointed stars. When we clear that, the 13th is the gate. So we can take our soul and go right up and blend with the higher self. That's how we activate the multidimensional nature of our being. Because let's say, for an example, our soul form reflects downwards, and our soul form can have as many bodies as it wants at one time. In time, we'll be able to energetically bond with the source frequency net, which then allows us access into any person's soul. That's a different story. It's a very high level of awareness. What I'm talking about is let's just stick to the higher self. Now, the higher self, we're down here in the physical form. We always talk about coaxing the higher self down, taking the seat in the heart. There's 3 energy centers that need to be focused on to allow the higher self to sit in the heart. Those 3 centers, I think Mary left. That's so funny. Those 3 centers are your heart, your pineal gland, and your crown chakra. So those 3 centers flower open. And when it flowers open, it allows the higher self to take the seat of the soul. That is located in the lower heart chakra. Now, that lower heart chakra, you can feel the higher self about a foot off of the body, and it flowers open, very similar to a pine cone. When it flowers open, hold on, we're going to let Mary back in.
I don't know
Then
what
that
happened.
means the higher self is taking the seat of the soul. Now, when the higher self embodies the physical material, it takes your biological form and energetically casts it onto the highest potential timeline expression. That is great. When we open all of the energy centers, it then allows your soul to go up and to bond with the higher self. That is of high value because when we bond with the higher self, it then allows us access into a different parallel version reality of the self, which means if the higher self has 8 bodies running at one time, I could be me, and then there could be another person in this world at this exact moment who is also connected to the higher self, to my higher self. I'm allowed to take my soul all the way back up to the higher self and to pick which body form I wish to experience. This is how you hear people say, oh, I'm a walk-in. That's because their soul, and it happens like this. It's so rapid. Their soul blends with the higher self, and then the higher self, it's like, okay, where do you want to go? You're going to go down into that body. That's where you go. You walk in. Now, that's wonderful. When we allow this process to take place, and we become the higher self, there's the higher self's name. And that's how you know you start to really unlock something, because it's like, well, what's your higher self's name? Who are you really? And when you start to learn the higher self's name, it turns into an affirmation. Okay, I am. So now you are becoming the higher self. That's the next step. Now because I'm fully aware of my relationship with my starman, there's a process of two becoming one, which is when two soul forms open up a perception box. So a perception box is like this. We see the world from our eyes. And it is this it's, well, we'll take it like this. We see it like this. It's a window. We can open a tiny window inside of the window that we see. I lost the phone. Hold on one second. Okay, that is known as a perception box. Now, what I'm telling you guys is we can open these perception boxes and we can start to see out of our animal's eyes, out of an insect's eyes. We can start to see out of our soulmate's eyes. We can open a perception box so that we are able to see a location. We can open as many boxes as we see fit. Now, we can rotate the boxes. So you can have 1,000 boxes open, and then you rotate and you pull the one forward that you wish to experience. This is how my starman is inside of my body 24 hours, 7 days a week, because he has my perception box open. And then he can pull it forward. The process of two becoming one is when I open a perception box for him and he opens mine. And then they're both open simultaneously. So it's very similar to running the two lifetime experiences in the now moment at once. You're seeing from each other's perspective. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because many relationships on our planet are going to be doing this. We're going to be, okay, there's no secret. Let me have your perception box. I'm going to be able to see everything. I'm going to feel your emotions. I'm going to sense your body. This is what the relationships of the future look like. Now, after some time, it two becoming one, an energetic bonding occurs. And this is when the two individual start to raise their level of awareness to become a celestial being. Now, a celestial being allows for different levels of awareness where you become the all. And there's different levels of it, because it's like our celestial being will just use this because like grasping the concept of it is like, but it's everything that you see in the reality. You have an upper level of awareness to everything. And some people have already experienced this on the planet because not that I endorse this, but there are certain plant-based medicines on the planet that have unlocked and shown people these different levels of awareness. So they have seen the perception boxes. They have seen geometric patterns during these types of, visions or vision quests. We can do a vision quest and we can see these things just using the breath work and the consciousness to control, because anything that you use a plant for, you can activate it inside yourself without the need of any free pass or tool. Yes.
You have a question from Elsa. Is it kind of like remote viewing or remote influencing? Sometimes I feel like I'm merged with trees and grass.
Sometimes she feels like she's what?
Merging with trees and grass.
Yes, that's how it feels like. So I had an experience where I've had this experience a couple of times where I have felt the body part of one of my friends. And it's always like when you first wake up in the morning, like for me anyway, and it was like, wow. And, right away on the phone, I was like, I was your chin. Like I felt it. I felt what it felt like to be your mouth. And she's like, wow. And I was like, yeah, but you get so excited because it's like, I felt it, which means I have the emotion code of how does it feel? And that's really the biggest thing, because in order to manifest anything, we have to know the emotion code. How does it make you feel? The emotion code is key for manifesting everything. So when we do different types of sun manifestations, I have this one. This was a moment in my past, and I don't know why I did it like this. It's just the way I did it. I crossed my arms like this, and I looked up at the sun, and I felt the sun on my body, on my skin, and I made a safe spot so that anytime I wanted to manifest the sun, I would do this and look up, and then all of a sudden the sun would manifest for me. And I do it to this day, and a lot of times I see the sun come out, even when the forecast and all that stuff is like, oh, it's cloudy. Even if it's raining everywhere else, I've seen a stream of sun come to exactly where I was. And I was like, wow, that's amazing to have an experience like that and to have it over and over and over again so that you're able to like call it on demand. There was one time, for whatever reason, we needed the temperature to be 70 degrees so that my children and I could use a hose. It's just, stubborn people, so much fun. And we're talking like it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The hottest point and time of the day is at noon. And we held hands and we did a power of 3. And we said, thank you, universe, for making the temperature go up to 70 degrees so we can use the hose. And all of a sudden, within 10 minutes, the temperature went up to 70 degrees and we were able to use the hose. So I've seen things manifest. I've seen money change, and I've seen money change from $3 to $12, and then it changed again to $16. And I did it in front of a Dunkin' Donuts man, and he even stopped and looked at me. His eyes got real big, and he was like, "How'd you do that?" And I was at that time, I was just jumping for joy because I knew I had manifested something instantly. We all can do this. You just have to open your heart and just be really happy and excited. And the more we're able to just do that one thing, it automatically starts to raise your frequency and you release the darkness and the density, and you start to have these different types of communication with extraterrestrial beings or the star people. Or you may also start to notice deja vus or slippages in the reality outside of you. Because during certain solar energetics, we go through convergences. And dear ones, a timeline convergence is of high value for each of you to understand. For when the timelines all blend outwards, it is very similar to a breath of life. And when they start to compress, they come inwards. When they come inwards, you may start to notice different people, places, or things shifting overnight. You may notice bruises on your body that were not there before. You may notice buildings where that building once was not. You may notice new individuals and have a full, completely different memory of said experience with them. There are many different types of shifts. For when the timelines come together, they energetically blend amongst all of the timelines, allowing for a new starting point to manifest. This is what each of you experienced last night. For there was a timeline convergence of sorts, which then allowed for a crossroads. That crossroads was the beginning of a new breath in. That breath in all timeline expressions is the celestial being's breath. For when you activate the celestial consciousness, you will become that being and have a full awareness of this exact moment in which you were watching the channeler and you were the channeler. And then your awareness will be on the crossroad. And then your awareness will shift once more to allow for changes and modifications to any and all frequencies coming from this transmission. And we are sending an unconditional love frequency, which is allowed to heal all individuals here. Please allow this to come from all of our hearts to yours, as we are you and you are us, and the all is the one and the one are the all. We send to each of you many love and blessings, and we are very thankful for each of you coming to the Shadow Work Zoom tonight. We start at 8:30, dear ones, and we are sending many, many love and blessings, dear ones. Thank you. Thank you, Star People.
Thank you, Star People.
Excellent.
Of course, my camera went out again.
Oh, it did? TikTok with
Yeah.
the puzzle. Oh, TikTok with the puzzle. How do you do this during a live? I swear it's like.
That's crazy.
So I hope you guys heard all that TikTok, right? Because you guys, it's like a puzzle piece. Like, stop the channeling, do the puzzle piece. That's so fun. Oh my gosh. Look at that. I said something and the computer blipped. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I
Oh,
can
so
see you. It's
okay.
been an hour, so
Yes. We're going to disconnect, release. We're going to end the live for tonight. And I hope to see you guys on the Shadow Work soon. Thank you guys for coming. Excellent.
bye everybody.
Bye, everyone. Oh, and if anyone has any spiritual questions that you need answered, please, by all means, you could send them through the website, daniellipton.com, and then we'll answer them on the next live. Or if it's a quick something, I can send you an email. You guys have a wonderful night. Anybody who needs the Shadow Work Zoom, please send an email through daniellipton.com. That is the only place I check because the Messenger app, there's so many, it takes a while to get down. So just send the email and I will send you the Zoom link. You guys can come. That Zoom is so that we all come together and we heal together as one. So we do different healing modalities. You guys get a one-on-one chance to ask the star people questions. Pretty much, whatever you guys want to do. It's wonderful. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful night and many love and blessings. Thank you, Mary Jane, for joining us tonight. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.